Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Before we get started on today's episode, just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, pushing to 3,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. So for today's episode, I want to talk about someone who has flown under the Miami Heat's radar, and I think the Miami Heat need to give this player a shot right now because the Miami Heat season right now it's not over. There's still 26 games left. The Miami Heat are 26-30. We're ninth in the East. We're only 3 or 4 games from like the 6th seed. It's not over, but right now the Miami Heat are free falling. Their offense has been horrendous. We can't beat any good teams. The Miami Heat are 8-20 against teams that are 500 and better, which is not good at all. The Miami Heat have only won 3 out of the last 11 games. So we're 3-8 in those games. Since Jimmy Butler's been gone, we're 1-6. The Golden State Warriors are 6-1. So it's been rough. And so right now, I think the Miami Heat need a spark off the bench. And I think the Miami Heat should give rookie Keshad Johnson an opportunity to get back into the rotation. He's played 7 games this season. So he first started off on a 2-way contract and obviously was playing in Sioux Falls in the G League and didn't have much of an opportunity to play with the Miami Heat. And he was upgraded to a standard contract when Drew Smith tore his Achilles. So he is not a 2-way player. He has a full standard contract, meaning he's not limited to the amount of games he can play in the NBA. If you're a 2-way player, you can only play a certain amount of games for your NBA team. Otherwise, most of the season you have to play for your G League team. And so Keshad has been playing great in the G League. So he's played 23 games with Sioux Falls Skyforce. He's averaging 18.8 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.3 blocks, and 1.2 three-pointers made on 33%, which is not too shabby for a guy who's not a shooter in 35 minutes. And he's been great. He's only been averaging 6 minutes per game in those 7 games he's played with the Heat. But right now, clearly, he is showing that he should be tested and thrown in the fire because what else are we doing right now with this season? We only have 26 games left. It's time for Spo to give him a shot. And I think, again, we have nothing to lose at this point. Let's be real. The season hasn't gone as planned. Jimmy Butler requested a trade. He's off the team. The team has been inconsistent. Our defense is not as good as it used to be. Our offense is trash. We're 25th in points per game or 21st in offensive rating. The rotation has not been good. Spo has been bad. Like, we've had some injuries. Like, we're inconsistent and we can't score. And we need someone fresh. We need someone with energy. We need someone with versatility. So that's where Keshad Johnson enters the chat. Like I mentioned, in the G League, he's been thriving. He has an improved three-point shot. He's a defensive-minded guy. He can jump out the gym. He is super athletic. We don't have a crazy amount of athletes on this team. So why not throw him in the rotation? Why? Like, why are you not doing it right now, Spo? Why are you only letting him play in the G League? He needs to play. We need to see if we can turn him into another diamond in the rough, another undrafted player who is going to contribute and play for us, not only in our rotation during the regular season, but in the playoffs, like you trusted Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Derek Jones Jr. There are so many players like that we signed and had them in our G League, and then we immediately developed them into our system, and they became crucial role players in the playoffs for us. He is that prototypical wing 3-and-D athletic, tall wing player that we need. He is 6'7". He can bring versatility to our front court. He has a strong frame. He is super quick. Again, he can jump out the gym. His vertical leap is insane. He can guard guards. He can guard wings. He can play small ball like 5 if we're desperate. And we know Spo loves playing small ball 5. He loves playing that. Even newcomer Kyle Anderson, he is 6'9". He's taller than Keshad. He even has played center at one point this season in the 5 games that he's been on this Miami Heat roster since he was traded for Jimmy Butler. So what else can Keshad bring to this Miami Heat team that they desperately need right now, especially that Niko Jovic is out? Transition basketball. He thrives in the transition. He could space the floor enough to a certain degree where he might be able to keep the defense honest. Probably not yet completely, but we need him to develop that 3 so that can be a fact. And so he can spot up in that corner, hit those easier threes for us, and then hopefully gets good enough where people have to close him out and try to run him off the line. And that's where he uses his athleticism to get to the rim. So, of course, he needs to work on his ball handling and his shooting. And how is he going to do that if he's playing in the G League and dominating there against non-real NBA talent? He needs to play against real NBA talent. We have nothing to lose. We're a play-in team right now. We're not going to do shit. We're a first-round exit at this rate. We're scoring 86 points per game, for heaven's sake. Tyler Hero has no help. It's just him and Bam right now struggling. Andrew Wiggins is now, been on this Heat roster for 5 games too. He's been fine, but it's not contributing to winning. It's not just those 3. The rest of the rotation, the roster sucks. Our defense is bad. We need help. He is someone who can help run the floor with Bam Adebayo, with Tyler Hero. He cuts hard. He provides hustle plays. He could shift momentum in games where we're losing momentum when we're playing Terry Rozier to start the fourth quarter, like in closing lineups. Like Erik Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the NBA, not this season, but when do you just say, hey, we need to see what kind of guys we can build and grow for cheap? And we know Mickey is a cheap owner to a certain degree, even though the Miami Heat have obviously offered max contracts and we're still top 10, 11 in terms of salaries. He still is relatively cheap. And if you want a guy who's really cheap, he's making $2-3 million a season. Like, we can get him into our rotation for the next 3 to 4 years under like a rookie scale contract where he's making like $3-4-5 million per year. That way you can use that for a star in the future. So he is exactly what I think this Miami Heat team needs right now. He needs energy, and he can help us in transition. He can help us with rebounding, with his defense, with his high flying. Like, he can possibly help this Miami Heat get out of the slump. He embodies the Miami Heat culture: hard work, defense, relentless effort. That's not what we're getting from the Heat players right now this season. So there's a lot of Heat culture that's been missing, and I think he can bring that back in these final 26 games. So, Heat Nation, let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Spo should give him a chance? I think he should definitely be in the rotation. Don't play Kyle Anderson. Play him. Don't play Alec Burks. Play him. Like, whoever else would get those minutes, play him. Like, play him and Jaime. Even though Jaime's been in a slump, he's still in his second year. He is on our team for the next 3 years on a rookie scale contract. Give Jaime a chance. Yes, he's been sucking, but throw him in the fire. What else do we have to lose? Like, stop playing certain guys. Stop playing Terry Rozier. Stop playing Burks. Stop playing Kyle Anderson, even though he's only been on the team for 5 games and he's solid at times. But he's 31 years old. He's a finished product. Like, we don't need him. Like, we need Keshad. We need Jaime. We need to see what they're made of. We need to see what they can develop into. And Spo, you need to figure this shit out, man, because you've been horrible this season, honestly. 14 double-digit third and fourth quarter leads blown, the most in the NBA. Like, we need to figure this out. So start tinkering and let him have a shot, please.